So I just finished editing my first video, 100% recorded with the GH5, so it's kind of exciting. And now I'm just digging into more settings, learning different things you can do with this camera, and just sort of finding my way. I just lowered the volume on the mic, which I think will help get rid of some of that extra background noise. Like right now, if I stay quiet, you might hear the rain outside. Or you might not, because I just lowered the volume. We'll see. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the camera so far. I just upgraded the firmware as well, and now it's running the latest firmware. I ordered the Vlog, so I look forward to getting that installed on the camera as well, and still trying to figure everything out. So right now I'm messing with autofocus. I've been having it with face detection turned on, which is okay, but it kind of misses sometimes. So I just put on tracking, whatever they call it, tracking detection. So I basically touch on my face, and then if I move around, it's supposed to follow wherever. Eventually, when the rain stops here in New Jersey, I'm going to actually do some more in-depth autofocus testing to see which autofocus works the best without changing to custom settings, meaning the camera actually lets you change the speed of the focus adjustment and the sensitivity and that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to mess with that right away. I'm going to just work on the actual built-in preset settings like spot versus multi-tracking versus face detection and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see how it goes. I also want to make sure that it's my eye that's being focused on and not just my nose, which this tracking feature really likes to go to is my nose instead of my eyes. So hopefully it's actually focusing on my face entirely and not just my nose. I guess we will see when I look at the recording. Today the Vlog is coming in. Hasn't come in yet. It's coming in today. I ordered it from B&H. It's going to enable Vlog on this Lumix GH5. And I'm really excited because I've got my hands on some really good LUTs, some look-up tables. Those are what LUTs are, which basically is for color grading video. And so I got some good ones. I'm looking forward to using it on vlogged recordings. And I'm about to go for a ride, so I'm going to experiment with something in the car. So I have to go for a drive and get that out of there. And I'm going to try something. So I have to go to the post office, and it's about a, I don't know, 2-mile, 3-mile drive up the road, and I thought I would see how this works by just putting the camera in the tripod. Now, it might be a little shaky because the tripod's just literally just sitting there on the floor with one leg on the chair, and you might hear the bumps, and if it's really bad, I'm not even putting this footage in the video, but it's worth trying because I'm trying to do more video, and this is one way to learn. It's just setting it up and driving. Now, I'm not actually going to look at the camera so much. I might when I stop at a red light, but I'm not going to look while I'm driving. But it is also kind of nice because I feel like I'm talking to somebody while I'm driving instead of just listening to the radio or a podcast, even though I'm still just talking to myself. It's kind of funny. But anyway, so waiting on some things at the post office. My post office, my P.O. box doesn't have the informed delivery, so I don't know when items are actually being delivered. And so I need to go there and see for myself. Now it looks like, from just peeking over at the screen, I gotta turn the audio down on the microphone because I'm picking up a lot of ambient noises from outside. And in the editing software, right now I'm using Final Cut Pro. I'm going to be experimenting with DaVinci Resolve soon. but in the editing software, I can actually reduce a lot of background noise, so I might do that. Let me just quickly, hey, hello. The funny thing is, if anybody happens to be watching as I'm driving, they're going to be seeing the camera aimed at me. I know people do this all over the place. I don't even know, it's probably illegal to be doing this. And not like I'm looking at the camera while I'm driving, but it's probably illegal to be doing this. I don't really know. But I'm just taking it easy. It's a very easy drive to the post office. Now, I got the GH5. As you know, I am recording on the GH5 right now, and now is the time for me to start thinking about what content am I going to create with this new camera. Because I am no longer stuck in an office to record video. As you can see, I'm recording a video from the car. So what content am I going to create that you will enjoy that I can do from anywhere? Now, I can do a bunch of tutorials and how-tos, and I do plan on doing those over time, but in the meantime, I want to create some other content, whether it's just fun videos about whatever, about the process of learning video and learning the camera and that kind of stuff, before I get into, like, you know, heavy-duty photography tutorials. I don't know. I think one of the things I'm going to do is start incorporating the videos that I do into my online courses. So I have a couple online courses right now. One's called Camera to Completion Lightroom Workflow course, and I can, of course, I could add content, video content, to correlate to what I do in Lightroom. But I also have one called Camera to Completion Process, which is actually about really just any photo editing. And I could start adding some video editing tutorials in there. I could record. I'm going to be doing a bunch of, on the job type behind the scenes videos to include into the course, showing what equipment I'm using and why for a particular job. That's really the reason behind process, is to show the process of everything. So this camera is going to open up a lot of opportunities for me to further enhance the quality online courses that I already create. So I look forward to that. The thing I really love about the GH5, now we know just from all the online reviews and everything that the autofocus is not great. Now they're going to fix that in a firmware update. I know it's going to happen. Right now it's not great. But what I love about the GH5 is that it will record until it runs out of battery. So with the GH5, unlike a Nikon camera, a Canon camera, a Sony camera, where you get 20 to 30 minutes at a time before it overheats and you need to stop and let it cool down and then start again, the GH5, you can actually just record and it won't overheat, and it will just keep going. And what else is kind of cool is there's 2 SD card slots, so I can record on one and then have it record to the other when the first one runs out, and while it's recording I can open the memory card door and replace the first one that was already filled up with a new memory card, and then when slot 2 fills up, it'll go back to slot 1 automatically. That's brilliant that they allow you to just basically keep on going without stopping if you needed to. Now, I'm going to be stopping this when I get to the post office, because I'm going to be in and out real quick, so I'm just going to stop, do that, and then come back. But it's nice that if you were doing like a commercial job where you needed that really long footage, you wouldn't have to stop. You could just keep going. Now, if you're using the battery grip, my guess is, I don't use the battery grip, the camera's already as heavy as an SLR right now, so I didn't want to add more weight to it because when I'm trying to keep weight down. But if you're using the battery grip, my guess is that you can actually replace batteries while recording as well. I don't know that for sure, but that's my guess. So if you're hearing a jingle, that is most likely the strap lugs that are on the side of the camera jingling right now when I go over bumps. I might remove those. I still haven't figured out what strap I want to use with the camera, if I'm going to use one at all. but because wrist straps are really intended to hold from behind, and when you're recording yourself, you're not holding it from behind, you're holding it from the front. So I'm not really sure. And I don't really want to use a neck strap because this isn't a camera I'm going to have around my neck. So I might wind up just removing the lugs completely and just having the metal solid anchors in place, and that's it, without any lugs. All right, I'm at the post office, but there's a pickup truck in front of me, so I can't pull into the parking lot. So I have a P.O. box, like I said, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to pick up some, hopefully I got some good packages I've been waiting on at the P.O. box. And if you want to send me something to open up and show in a future video, you're welcome to do so. My P.O. box address is in the description below. Maybe one day they'll get it. I don't even need to see pictures of the items like they do for the homes. I just need to get an alert saying, hey, there's something there. Woo! That was a sharp turn. So, the way I have the tripod positioned right now is not ideal. I have other tripods and ways to mount, so I might wind up using a different mount. I'm not sure. I could mount it to the door handle or something. I don't think I'm going to be doing car videos that often to necessitate me doing anything permanent. But I don't know. I do not know. So, the end of last week, I gotta back up a little bit on the story. I host a podcast called the WordPress Photography Podcast, and since its inception over a year ago, it has been a video and audio podcast where we also have every episode transcribed into text. And podcast going well. I have a co-host, and she had a company that basically does ghostwriting for photographers, and she does a great job. Her staff does a great job, but she sold her company to a larger company who does outsourced photo editing for photographers, for wedding photographers. Perfect match. Outsourced blogging, outsourced editing. And she just told me on Friday that she's no longer going to be a part of the company that she just sold. That she's going to be consulting, but she won't be with them on a permanent basis. It's not going to be a full-time basis. And so with that, she's kind of getting out of the photo industry, and she's not going to be my co-host anymore. So I'm faced with this dilemma. One is, do I get a new co-host? And I'm still on the fence about that. Two is, do I switch from video to only audio? Because it does make the podcast creation much easier. So does not having a co-host, because now I only have two schedules to work with, mine and a guest, instead of having three, mine, a co-host, and a guest. And if I do audio only, it makes it so easy to record each episode. And it makes it so some people who aren't comfortable on video don't have to worry about getting dressed up for video, because they can go in their PJs to their computer and a microphone and call it a day. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'm just going to drop off this envelope to my brother's house. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'm still debating. I have basically this week to decide, because the next episode has to be recorded next week. So I am contemplating what to do. I did poll the community, and there are a lot of people who watch the videos But a lot of people who watch the videos only for the audio aspect, just because they don't use podcast players or go to the website, they just have it subscribed on their YouTube. But there are definitely far more people who listen to audio only. So I might be switching into audio only, with maybe videos here and there when needed. I'm really unsure. But if I switch to audio only, it means I have a YouTube playlist. Not on my channel, by the way. This is actually on my channel for Imagely, which is where I work full time. I will have a playlist on the Imagely YouTube channel that is completely that basically stops after, you know. I'm just gonna drop off this envelope. All right, so my shoe isn't tied. Now to go home. All right, my brother lives in a community where there's a golf course, so you'll see some golfers right there. Maybe. The exposure is, it's a really sunny day, so the exposure is probably, would be too overexposed to see those golfers right there. Maybe see a little bit of them. All right, now to go home. Yeah, so by the end of the week, I will decide what I'm doing about the podcast. But my gut is saying go audio only with no co-host. So that's what I might be doing. It will actually make my life a lot easier because I'm trying to focus video on for myself so much that having to worry about video for, you know, a podcast, which is a bi-weekly. It's every other Thursday. It makes it a little bit tricky, a little bit overwhelming having to worry about so much outside of what I'm trying to do for myself on YouTube. All right, brother and I live 1 mile up the road from each other, but I might be moving soon, so that might be changing. Won't be too much further away, but we'll see. If you drive in the car a lot, then I've got something really cool to show you. Something that I get, basically in any car that I own, I have these. And once I stop, I will be able to show it to you. But basically, I have mounts that are kind of fixed to the dashboard. And it makes it so that I don't have to worry about anything flimsy. They're kind of expensive. They're made in the US. So they're not cheap, but in reality, they hold your device, your GPS and your phone so sturdy that it's so worth it. Especially if you're the type of person like me who keeps a car for a very long time. The only car that I've owned that I did not put one of these in is my Prius, which now my wife drives, and it's only because there's not a good mounting position in the Prius for it. But right now I'm driving a RAV4 and jingles. Right now I'm driving a RAV4 and the mount's actually perfect. One's on the left side of the steering wheel, one's on the right side. Let's take you off of here. That's the iPhone mount. And as you can see, it's mounted very sturdy. It's actually adjustable, so it can go wider if you have a wider phone. This only fits the 6 and the 6S series. It does not fit the pluses. It also won't 6, 6S, and 7s. It won't fit the plus versions of the 6S or the 7. And then over here I have my GPS, my Garmin mount. My wife and I don't pay for a lot of data on our phone, so we use an actual GPS, not our cell phones for GPS usually. So I've got that right here. Let's do this. Should be able to see my finger better. Oh, there we go. So that's where this is, and it's all adjustable. You can see it mounts nicely to the actual dashboard. This one does too. It doesn't go anywhere. Oh, and by the way, here's that tripod setup. You know, one of the reasons why I wanted the GH5 and really just a video camera in general was the ability that I could take it anywhere. I've never really had a real video camera. I've never had I had an SLR, a digital SLR that did video, but it was a Nikon D810, and the video, while it is 1080p, it didn't offer me much flexibility as far as what I could do with it, so I never used it. I didn't like not having a screen that I can see myself for framing. It didn't even have Wi-Fi, so I couldn't even like use an app to frame myself with my phone, so it was very limiting. Oh, there's a rabbit. So whatever replaces the D810, I might wind up getting that as well, so that I have a Nikon that I can use all my glass with. Because this Panasonic, I only have this lens. This is all I have, is this lens. But the nice thing is, I can walk around, I could record whatever I want from anywhere. If I'm just out doing some street photography, I can whip out the GH5, record a video about street photography. If I'm doing a landscape, I can record a video about the landscape. My phone is blown up right now. Why? And then if I want to, I can position on a tripod like so. There we go. So I can position on a tripod and record anything. Right now I have face detection back on. It's a little sunny. I have blue eyes and my eyes are very sensitive to the sun. So I usually wear sunglasses when I'm outside. Even on overcast days, the sky is just white right now. So it's kind of blinding me a little bit. Yeah. I got curious about something, and so I just turned the camera on, changed it from, in the video mode, metering from manual to fully automatic or program auto. So it basically, I've been having the camera sometimes using auto ISO with a limit of 800 ISO, but I just set it to auto with no limit and auto shutter, auto aperture, and I just was curious how it would do with the exposure in my office. Right now I don't have the ring light on, I only have my overhead lights on. So I'm going to, let's try something. I'm going to switch to, let's see, how's it do if I, oh nice, it picked up the exposure well. Alright, so I'm going to switch my office light to Aurora. Yeah, so that's quite ambient. Actually, if you take a look, the white balance just completely adjusted so my face is good. This is one of the advantages of using face detection, by the way, is that it not only is it focusing on me, but it's actually making sure my face is exposed well and the color is good. So I just switched it to Aurora. Now I'm going to switch it to, let's go with Spring Blossom. So it just got very red, but in a second it should adjust the white balance. Yeah, it's not really adjusting so much. What if I switch it to Tropical Twilight? That's pretty cool, actually. So it's, in a way, I'm kind of like doing some in-camera LUTing. It's kind of funny. But typically when I record in here, I have it on my podcast mode, which means the light over my head is off, and the light behind me is this nice blue color, which you can see right there. And yeah, look, it just adjusted. My face is actually properly white balanced. And let's turn on the ring light and see how that goes. Now it should adjust to that. Nice. So it looks like the auto exposure. Whoa! It looks like the auto exposure works pretty well in this for the video. I don't think I'm going to be using it all the time, but nice to know for like run and gun type things that I could just quickly. Maybe what I might do is create a quick mode where my ISO is set to full auto and the exposure is set to full auto, and that way I can just quickly change which custom settings I'm using, whether I'm using it for like, you know, heavy duty work or I want just quick run and gun work. I might even call it run and gun in the camera. Yeah. Something just came, I know what it is, and this is going to be interesting. So this is the V-Log for the Panasonic GH5, and it's kind of funny. You would think that in this day and age, when everything is digital, that Panasonic would not need to mail a piece of paper that has a license code for you to download from the website, to download a file, to upload to the camera. A digital process. But they mail the actual paperwork. So, instruction guide on how to install the V-Log. Ooh. The only thing inside of there is a piece of cardboard with a key code. That's it. Just a key code. That's what was inside the box. Well, let's install it. Okay, so I just went through this process, which should have been super simple, and it was not difficult, but it wasn't. It should have been literally buy it from Panasonic, get the code, download it, put it on the memory card. Or, yeah, for some reason they made me order a box to have this inside with a little piece of cardboard with a code on it. And then you go through the process that should have been 100% digital from step one. But it's okay. Right now I'm recording this in V-Log, and I'm going to process this so you see what V-Log looks like before you do any color grading, and then I'll do a quick transition into a color graded version. And I'm not sure what color graded version I'm going to use in my office space, but the nice thing is this basically opens up the possibilities of dynamic range to use with the camera. So I'm looking forward to taking advantage of V-Log and see what I can do with it. So the weird thing is it does look strange on the screen. So before I go, I just want to say thank you again to the Mac Warranty Company for supplying me with this Panasonic GH5, which I'm going to be using in so much video content. You guys are awesome.